into their heads, and then they could ride inside of them. And this was for both the Autobots and the Decepticons. So imagine having a alligator swim around and then becoming a robot with a human head. I
think it gave them a lot more human characters to play with somehow, but
yeah, it just.
I think on that note, we will take our quick music break, and then come back with even more Transformer-related.
More MCI.
Yes, that. Hey guys, welcome back to the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy show. So pretty much this is a Transformers only show. We've been talking about different versions of Transformers and how obsolete mine were and how very, very young I currently feel.
Well, we're going off for talking about stuff that you weren't even alive for.
You're young enough that you don't even remember going to school and having somebody claim that they had, who was it, primary villain in the Transformers movie.
You're Unicron?
Unicron. We all had a friend who's claimed that they had a Unicron toy at home and claimed that they couldn't bring it to school because their mom said it was way too valuable.
I grew up in the Pokemon era where Pokemon cards and Pogs were the most precious thing of our youth. I didn't get into Transformers more until I was kind of close to my teenage years, which makes me realize I missed out on a lot.
No, there's nothing wrong with Beast Wars.
Oh,
definitely not.
Beast Wars was good, although here in Canada, it was called Beasties.
Yeah. Yes.
Because apparently the word war was bad. So going off and calling it Beasties, which sounded so much cooler.
Compared to everything else they put on the TV, I think the word war was the least of their problems. The whole commercial blue fuzzy thing saying "don't put it in your mouth" was traumatizing at best.
Okay, now I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna find that commercial and I'm gonna post it everywhere.
I'm sorry, it's in my head now.
Yeah. That was a very traumatizing commercial, but
don't you put it in your mouth?
Yeah.
Don't you stuff it in your face?
Like a muffin or a beet?
Yeah.
No, I don't want beets.
I like beets. Then don't put it in your mouth.
I had nightmares as a kid of these blue doll things, of them invading my house, screaming at me.
Oh, that sounds so much more terrifying than my nightmares as a kid of Gremlins. So,
I would welcome the Gremlins. I actually openly watched Gremlin movies just to get the stupid things out of my head. That's why I think I liked horror movies so much, because they were less terrifying than these Canadian commercials. Louis the Light Bulb and the talking mice.
What about the house hippo?
And the house hippo.
Okay.
That most of us actually believed for years existed. I actually actively searched for one.
I had a friend who actually had a house hippo.
I had a picture of a house hippo that I swore that I saw in the corner running past me. The things we Canadians do
are called rats, by the way.
They were. We were actually in the middle of a rat infestation, and it felt better to call them house hippos. We were terrified less of house hippos than rats, so it made sense. We had nothing better to do.
No, apparently not.
That's pretty much what I grew up with. So
now you guys have probably gone into the live action movies now, right? You're both caught up on that?
I haven't, just because I started watching the first few. I didn't like the direction that they were going with it. I liked the darkness, but they lost a lot along the way. In my eyes,
I don't like Michael Bay.
Well, it's the one place I can accept explosions.
Yeah, I've only seen the first two. I have not seen any of them since. I don't think I've seen any since Megan Fox went off and left the series.
We're on
not because
we're on the 5 now, is it? Or
I believe there's
so.
I think there are like 15 now. It feels like this is
we're
just a
talking
franchise.
just Michael Bay.
Oh,
no, I've given up. I gave up. I think after 2 because 1 was the initial one with the dam, Hoover Dam, or
that had Megan Fox as
Right.
well as Shia LaBeouf.
and the 2 was the one that they had the slightly racist twins in, and
the sounded Italian, and then there was like
jokes about
yeah.
Yes,
I was just thrown off about the first Transformers movie because they had that one little guy who I swear had Tourette's syndrome because he was cursing all the time for no reason. So it just, I don't know. This is just like Michael Bay. I'm not sure what I consider worse: Michael Bay doing Transformers or Michael Bay doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was absolutely horrifying. I prefer Transformers over that, and I didn't like Transformers either, so that says something.
Yeah.
I've always been a Turtles fanatic, and that kind of really turned me off of watching Turtles.
I heard there's a little bit of a campaign some people have had of trying to get Disney to buy the Transformers franchise, so somebody will actually do something good with it.
This is true. They're not batting 100 here, but most of what Walt Disney has pushed out in the last decade has been pretty good.
Propaganda.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's stop. We're not going to talk about Captain America. Okay. So,
the problem I have with the people wanting Disney to do that is the fact that Disney owns everything, and I want at least something that is safe from the mouse. The mouse is evil, and
well, consider this. The DC's not. They're doing okay. I think Wonder Woman was in the right direction. Can't really say I like the last couple of movies that.
The Batman versus Superman?
Batman versus Superman. Oh, no, excuse me. I'm going to be corrected. It's Batman v Superman, according to Captain Fizz.
I'll take that, but...
Okay, they tried to put way too much into that movie. It was way too long. When I have to, run out in the middle of a movie to go to the bathroom, because then come back, that tells you a movie's way too long. It
was also utter useless filler.
They did. That's just it. They tried to pack too much in. They could have went off, cut that movie down by about 30 minutes, and left a lot of stuff on out, and used it for something else, and they would probably have been a lot better.
I do think Justice League may be the exception to the DC rule. Of course, it hasn't come out yet, so we won't know until it actually does. But
I go into every one of these movies, trying to be optimistic and walking away with differing stages of contempt. I think Suicide Squad was probably about as close to actually being a decent DC movie, and even that was far from perfect.
Yeah, there was definitely some aspects of it that was good, and as a Harley Quinn fan, I feel ashamed to say that I think a lot of it was done wrong, including with her.
I don't think I hated it. We could just go off and go down the rabbit hole. I swear.
Let's not. We have contests to do.
Okay, well, I swear, we really should just go off and change the name of this podcast to Down the Rabbit Hole, because that's all we do. We start off with some sort of direction, and then we completely abandon it to go off and rant and rave about something, and then it takes us 20 minutes just to get back to our original point.
I want to argue, but no, you're right. So I'm going to ask actually both of you, if any movie out there that hasn't been done that you really want to see.
really want to see.
Oh God.
And just kind of, give an example, we actually have someone in our comment, Amy, she wants to see a Nightwing movie.
Nightwing would be interesting. I'll be curious to see maybe Teen Titans. That would be something I'd be kind of curious as to see. I mean, it better be, kind of lighthearted and stuff because dang it, Teen Titans is not supposed to be that dark, except when Superboy died. So, but that's a different story.
It's incredibly cheesy, but I'd really like to see them come back and redo Howard the Duck.
I think that's on everybody's want. When they actually showed Howard the Duck in Guardians of the Galaxy, I had so much hope afterwards that they were teasing that Howard the Duck was coming back, and it's been how long, and we've still seen nothing.
He's made like cameos in both of the Guardians.
Yes, but they need to have a Howard the Duck movie just because the first one was really good, but with today's technology and brain power, it could be even better.
No, when the first one came out, I was the right age for it. So it was set up for my mentality at that point, and that's why it did not do terribly well, at least from what I understand. But I think they could do better with a second run on that.
I definitely can't argue that one. Howard the Duck's always been my favorite.
This is going to sound like a really big, pile of cheese, but part of me wants to see if they can pull off Biker Mice from Mars.
Yes. Let's
face it, it probably would absolutely tank. But, I love that show.
Well, considering they're talking about bringing back a movie for Hey Arnold, as well as some other things, definitely the TV shows of that era are coming back.
Well,
I think it's possible. I would like to see Rugrats come back kind of the way they used to be. I was a huge Rugrats fan.
Well, come on. They were babies for 10 years. Eventually, they're going to have to be all grown up.
The Simpsons have been running for how long? They haven't aged, a bit. It's possible.
And look how terrible they are.
Just because we've all grown up and stopped watching doesn't mean nothing.
Oh, it's absolute garbage. You can tell, from the point where they went off and, revealed the Principal Skinner was not really Principal Skinner. I was like, okay, now you're not even trying anymore.
I'm more amazed that everything they've predicted over the years has come true.
Yeah.
Stop predicting stuff.
Yeah, I want to go off and, find Matt Groening and kick him in, the nether regions for going off and predicting that Donald Trump was going to become president of the United States.
Well, maybe we'll get Lisa Simpson next.
Maybe. There's actually two other ideas that were brought out. Ren and Stimpy, which I would love to see come back, as well as a Samurai Pizza Cats movie.
Samurai Pizza Cats.
Now, I remember kind of the tail end of that show, mostly through references of other shows.
Okay. I'll give you so Samurai Pizza Cats is actually based off, it literally was a Japanese series. But when it was introduced to the United States, they went off and completely wrote new scripts for all the episodes that had nothing to do with what was there previous. And they left 2 episodes out. One because it just showed scenes from previous episodes. The other one, it was considered too racy. And even the theme song where the guy was actually drunk when he sang it, and that's why he goes off and says, hang over. Because he was, he literally had a hangover when he was trying to sing this.
So before we actually start moving into our final thing of the night, there's actually 2 that I want to bring up. One that was actually just sent to me, which is Pinky and the Brain. Definitely a classic. As well as my personal favorite growing up, which really sounds weird considering everything else I watched, was Beavis and Butthead. Both of which I would really love to see more.
I would love to see Pinky and the Brain, but I would love to see it in some way where they have other characters from the Animaniac universe.
Yes.
Where they have to try to stop Pinky and the Brain. They finally have a foolproof plan to take over the world, and now it's Wacko, Yakko, and Doc who have to go off and save the world from them.
You can't miss out Hello Nurse either.
Hello Nurse.
Yes.
And Dr. Scratch.
There's so many things that they could actually do with that. So those are kind of things I love. I still have all the Pinky and Brain on my computer that I watch repeatedly because it never gets old.
Have you listened to the Yes Always clip?
I don't think I have.
Okay, so there's